Everybody, I am Spegtacular, the Silver Stacular. That is the coin guy. We're at his shop here in Spring Hill, Florida. Guy, what's the news?
Well, it's been a wild time in the markets. We see gold has dropped about $200 in 1 week. You know, the tariffs are coming off. They're negotiating. China said maybe, yes. And people, I guess it's euphoria or whatever. They're not as worried. But like I said, I know, mankind, there's always going to be somebody with a hammer to hit somebody over the head. And somebody's going to look for trouble somewhere else. So This is when you buy. I mean, I still buy. I'm still putting away. We picked up a lot of silver today. I got constitutional 20s available.
I can't believe you actually have $20
gold pieces.
Yeah, you never have those.
I have a couple of them. I have a few of them, actually.
It's been years since I've been able to buy one from you.
Yeah, I mean, normally they want the constitutional, and I have some, and nobody. I mean, it's been very quiet the last 2 days, starting Friday. I doubt if I made payroll. Not that I'm complaining, I'm just saying it's been that kind of quiet. It's been a ghost town. I'm spending money. People are selling. I bought quite a bit of 999 today and 90%. But sales, I'm selling more goldbacks. I sold more goldbacks than gold.
Really?
That's a fact, yes. Huh. I sold more goldbacks than gold today.
I guess because it's so fractional and people can afford it at any level, maybe?
Well, people are still finding out about it.
Oh, okay.
And the queen of goldbacks is Pirate Girl.
Okay.
You know, Pirate Girl is still going strong. And they grabbed them.
Yeah. Cool stuff, man.
Yeah. We got other things coming up. Just a quick let people know, I am going to be at Fun. My son is picking us up a couple of tables for Fun. I don't know what table numbers yet. This is the first time I've ever done Fun. So I will be at Fun in July.
That's coming up real soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
My brother's running for governor of Pennsylvania again.
Okay.
Just to let you know, he is a thorn in their head, in their butts, really, because he's willing to serve without getting paid. Where have we heard that before? Yeah, he's just
that's cool. That's
who he is. He's bored, and he's got the experience. He used to run a major company for the whole state of Pennsylvania, so he's got the wherewithal. But he's retired and he's looking to do. But
for this right here,
yeah.
What's the deal? Like, are you selling stuff there? Or are you just kind of hanging out?
I am bringing in new T-shirts. We're bringing in coffee cups. A lot of people want to see me. I get a lot of people come up to see me there. It's more for the fans. I'm going. Brian wants to do it. I think he has most of that big collection still available. He may highlight it there.
The Morgan Dollar collection?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he sold any of it.
I know he sold one piece.
One piece we know about. But I think he's going to highlight that. And we're going to get two tables next to each other. I'm not sure if we're going to be next to each other or corner, but we're going to be in the same booth. Going to have my grandson there, Jack. He's going to the young collectors, the seminar in Colorado Springs.
Oh, that's cool.
Brian and him have signed up, and then he's going to be there. So I'm going to see if they're interested in 3 generations of coin collectors, you know, father, son, and grandson. And he's already been working with Brian in his store, setting some diamonds and, you know, doing deals and learning. And I think he's maybe going to come back with us and be at this store for a week or 10 days.
How'd you do that? Because my kids, if I try to show them a coin, they have no interest and they just walk away.
Jack does. It's very hard. It's very hard to find kids. I have a couple of kids who come in the store. Ben is one of them, who's very enthusiastic. 10, 11-year-olds. I love seeing that. We were at the club meeting yesterday. There was a young person there. Little guy was there. They let him collect the money for the raffles. Maybe I shouldn't tell you that. But he's really good in math, so you give him a $5 bill, he gives you $2 back. He got to be treasurer for a while at 8 years old.
That's cool.
But, you know, you got to expose them to it. As I said, it's a hobby that needs the young people. So I think it'll be cool having him back there with all three of us together. And Well, let them get a taste of what it's like.
That's cool. I love seeing these like coin shows you go to, and like as soon as like a kid comes in, they're like forking over like free coins and stuff, and really trying to get them excited, you know?
Yeah,
Because they got to get them in. They got to have the lifelong hobby collector.
That's like anything else. If we don't pass on the knowledge, you know, like I said, if you don't pass on the knowledge, the hobby dies. I see our own club has gotten smaller, and that's basically because around here, most of the coin clubs are a bunch of older men, and some women, but mostly older men, and they retire and they die. Attrition is killing us. I mean, we used to run the winter shows. We'd have 70 people 7, 8, 9 years ago. Now, if we're lucky, we have 40. Some have moved away because somebody passed away or they can't take care of themselves, and they're going back up north. Others have just died.
How do we fix that, guy? Because Spring Hill is popping. Look at that traffic out there right now.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
How do people get into the coin club?
We advertise. They find me. I'm always talking about it, especially the young people.
So if you're in Spring Hill and you like coins, the guy know.
Come see us.
There you go.
Or you go to Joan of Arc Church.
Okay.
Second. This was last year, but that's where we meet. The second Monday of every month. We met yesterday.
Right on. It's a cool place to like do some cool deals too, right? Because sometimes you guys can like, you know.
We do deals there. We talk education. We talk what's new in the industry. Nathan started a thing each month now when we meet. One of the old timers, what brought you into the hobby? How did you start? And they bring in some examples and they talk about their years in when they started. And I volunteered to do next month. And I'll talk about how I got into the hobby and how I started. And then, of course, I can promote my table and my brother, but that's neither here nor there.
Sure.
But
who's the current president of that coin club?
Nathan is current
Nathan's
president.
still president?
Nate, come out here, say hello.
Oh,
the
man.
president.
I wonder what he looks like, the coin club president. Let's see. He's like, I don't like being on these things.
He's like the guy behind the curtain
there he is.
in the Wizard of Oz.
Hey, it's the coin club president.
Yep.
Wow, that's cool, man. Are you really shaking things up over there?
Well, trying to.
Yeah.
Got a couple of youth coming in, so that's good.
Yeah, we got a couple.
Yeah.
It's like I said, attrition kills us. But you know, they're building, they must be putting in 1,000 homes on County Line.
Easily.
I mean, it's just incredible how much they're clearing and doing over there. And I live right back up to that. And it's just, there's like 80 acres they just cleared. My goodness, I thought they were building an airfield.
Yeah.
You know, but they're putting, I think, 700 homes, 300 on the others. They're just everywhere. They're just building tremendously here. So I'm hoping the young people are coming with that.
So if anybody's in the area, let's get that coin club popping. That sounds like a good idea. What do we got?
I had found this, somebody had given me this a while Bits of Bullion, Beginner's Guide to Collecting Coins by Morgan Rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And Nathan, Jesse it says, too spectacular, keep the great videos. And he put it forward to us, acknowledgement. That's pretty cool. Right there.
Spectacular and Guy Ventry, a.k.a. the Coin Guy. Guy's experience is without question in the top tier of dealers and collectors. I never miss an episode. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Huh?
I don't
tablet for history.
I still didn't see myself in the top 100 people in coins. I don't want to mention that
Coin,
book.
Most influential, that
Yeah,
one?
most influential. But I thought that was cool.
That is super cool. Thank you for doing that.
And I saw this. I got it. See, now, today, a week ago, that would have been a great price. That was basically melt, or less than melt.
I mean, it's still not terrible
No,
considering
it's
it's a
still a
10th
good
ounce,
price.
right?
Well, you're going to pay about 6% over, 6 or 7% over for a tenth.
Yeah.
So you're looking at gold at 32.50 or whatever it is. You're looking at least $20-25 over melt. You're gonna pay $3.50 for a gold for that.
Look at this fine print, huh? Minimum, or to say maximum? Which one is it? Oh, it's minimum order of 5. You got to get 5 of them to get that deal.
But that's still a good price. That's
Yeah.
still a good price. And that was but remember, this is the hook. They want to get your name. They want to, and you're going to get inundated with It's like I keep getting all of these letters about cemeteries and cremation. That must be for Susan. It can't be for me.
That's freaking you out, right?
Yeah, but you know, it's just something they give you a hook just to get your number. Next thing you know, you're getting all of these, all of this mail.
Yeah, I did one of these one time, and it was a good deal, man. It was a silver eagle at spot, and then as I'm on the phone, high pressure, you know, car salesman style, you know, person, but he's like, you know, hey, let's just do some platinum eagles too. Let's do this. Let's, you know, sell you on all this stuff. And I'm like, no, I just want the eagle at spot, though. That's all I really want.
I've had guys, I remember years ago when they were really cheap. I remember when that number was 149, and I'm not talking too long ago. And these guys were hammering them. Members of the club calling them, buying 10, buying 5. And they were buying them and then coming in here. And, you know, when you're retired and nothing else to do, you buy 10 of them at 139, and you come in here and I give you 159. You made $200 for doing nothing.
Yeah.
You know, that's lotto money, or take the wife out for Valentine's Day, whatever.
Sure.
But it's, you know, it was just a game, and just, you know, the heck with it. I found a number of articles that I found were quite interesting. Here is one article, because people talk about the tariffs. Bullion excluded from tariff.
Yeah, people were kind of worried about what was going to happen with their Mexican Libertads or their Canadian Maple Leaves, but we don't got to worry about that.
Well, unless you live in Maryland.
Uh-oh. What's going on in Maryland? Maryland dumps tax exemption? No, repeal of protection of sales over $100 or $1,000 part of budget bill sent to governor's desk. Why would the people want that?
See, my idea is it says over. That means if you're under 1,000, you're already paying taxes.
Yeah.
In Florida, you pay on under $500 if it's foreign or if it's 999. Foreign gold and silver, it's taxable under 500. Obviously, it was under 1,000. Now, if you buy yourself one gold piece, it's 6%. I think sales tax is 6% there. You buy a gold piece for, you know, for $3,300. And you're paying times 0.06, you're going to pay $198 in tax for every $20 gold piece or every gold eagle or whatever it may be. $200?
What is the benefit to the people of doing that? You know?
Exactly. There's no benefit. I don't know if this is political or I don't understand. Or
Somebody
you just
out there
don't
gets
like
up
gold
every
and silver?
morning and they go, I hate gold and silver.
Why not let the people, you know, meanwhile you have goldbacks. Obviously, it's, I guess, I don't, you know, I'm almost surprised that New Hampshire has a goldback. I don't see them in the blue states, so to speak. But
well, I guess it's not always a blue state. It's more of just, you know, the friendly, like, law states with the ones that have bullion-friendly laws.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see any wrong with it. I mean, the ownership in gold and silver is in the Constitution. You know, legal tender.
What does that say? Illegal tender?
Oh, it's legal tender.
Oh. This one? Oh, that says illegal. What is this one about?
This is the stuff. This is like the 1933 gold piece that was illegal to own. The 1964 peace dollar.
Reminiscent about that stuff?
Yeah, and then they pulled back the silver, so it got wiped out. There was a 74 aluminum penny that they passed around, and people pocketed and walked out. Nancy, bring that back.
Jeez,
you know, it's that kind of stuff. This is pictures to tell you. I always get phone calls for the steel penny.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is to show you.
Oh, the 43 steel?
Now I've heard, yeah, this I've heard before. A lot of people think that in the old days you could use nails as money. I guess you can barter anything. You know, you look at the Little House in the Prairie time, and people would have, you know, the general store was, they had a ledger on everybody. And when you brought in your pigs to be butchered, or your chickens, or you sold eggs, they're big money, you paid off some of the general store. Now nails, if you notice, and I've had a number of large pennies that are squared. You see the way these are squared off?
Yeah.
Because these are hammered. The blacksmith made these. It was until the time of the Industrial Revolution, 1830s, 1840s, before round nails that could be strewn out and cut would produce, and you could produce them in kegs and they were reasonable. Nails are very valuable. I've heard stories where when you had old cabins, they would burn the cabin down just to recover the nails.
Seriously?
Yeah, you'll hear that if you read enough. You read books like, Call It a Wild or Last of the Mohican. When you in early America, because they used the small nails, but even the bigger, the spikes.
Huh. That's interesting, huh?
Yeah, but this is debunking that. This said there's no real truth to that. It seems to still go both ways.
Look at the size of this nail, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
kill a vampire.
That looks like.
Shoo.
No, it's got to be made out of wood.
Oh, wooden stake.
Yeah, everybody
or silver,
knows
right? You can
that.
do silver.
Silver's a werewolf.
Oh, okay.
My grandsons know that.
I'm gonna have a hard time if those mythological things start coming
You
after
ain't
me.
kidding.
Shoo.
Look at those things. Now they got prices on these. I mean, you can try and sell anything. I think it's interesting. Would you say, can I give you 3 nails for a nickel? When nails were really rare, I guess nails had a value. I want a cup of beer. How about 5 nails? How about 5 fingers?
Yeah. Come with me. You want a nail? Interesting.
It's a barter system. I mean, we do barter here. You want to sell me gold for silver? I can do that. I do that on occasion.
You know what? Let's talk about that for a second, because the gold to silver ratio was kind of, high, right? Over 100 at one point.
It was 105.
Did anybody take you up on that offer to switch one for the other?
I get people who do that from time to time. Right now, you're looking at 101. Gold to silver ratio is 100. No, it's 99. I got 32.41 and silver's 32.84. So it's 99 right now. It hit 105. Like back here, where on the 5th, it was 34.13, 33.10.
Yeah.
So right there, you're looking at 103.
It's crazy.
I mean, the ratio is just totally wackadoo. And
now, you couldn't do like a 1-to-1 kind of situation, right? Like, let's say the ratio was 103 to 1. You couldn't do that exact number. It wouldn't make sense.
well, where's my,
Yeah, where's your
that's
benefit?
just where it works.
Yeah.
I mean, instead of you pulling money out, I had an older man today sell me like $3,000 worth of 90%, and I know what he wants, and I have some of that at home, and I'll probably bring him in. He's looking for a $10 Indian, and he wants a bunch of Indians. So I got a 10, a 5, and a 2.5, and I'll work out something. And if he's got more silver, I'll trade it. It's not really it's a barter in a way, but this time I already paid him. He's just going to give me my money back. In the past, he has traded me, and I just gave him a $10 Indian.
What are these little like 90% looking historical U.S. coins?
It's been a while since I was able to put this together.
Yeah.
This is a $30 bag of standing quarters from good to fine.
That's one of my favorite coins, guy.
I mean, they're pretty cool. That bag is $240.
Do they all got dates?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
They're good to find.
How much is this bag?
$240.
Oh, man, we shouldn't even mention that on the video.
Yeah, like $8 each. But that's for cash. You want them shipped? Well, you got to pay the credit card part. The shipping is not the big deal. It's the credit card, and I've had experiences now where I insure stuff. Maybe not $200, but $2,000 for sure.
Somebody's going to enjoy that.
Yeah, somebody's going to call for that. I know that. I picked up a bunch of pieces of 8.
Oh,
look at this.
Regular old pirate, aren't you? Let's see what you got here.
Not nails, 8s. Here's one with a hole in it. Still got some value.
Yeah, that's cool stuff. Have that as a nice little necklace. And you had a story behind these, didn't you? Or the person bringing them in had a story?
He got them off the coast of Northern California, when he was diving or metal detector, and he said 50 years ago. And I believe that because on the other side of California on the Pacific, you've got China, you've got Hong Kong, and this was big then. You had the Opium Wars that ended in 1897, and then England made a treaty with China, and they got Hong Kong out of it for 100 years, and they gave it back in 1997. And They were supposed to leave it at its own island for 50 years. Well, after 25 years, like everything else, China reneged, and now they've destroyed freedom of speech there. But that's another story. But
For a different time.
yeah, and this is where you would get some of these with chop marks out of them. That just tells you they circulated in the China Sea, you know, between China, Japan, and then I'm sure, of course, those ships would come back to the Americas. And you got to remember too, at this time, in this country, up until 1857, pieces of 8 were legal tender in the United States.
Yeah.
Up until 1857, because there was a shortage of currency. You just didn't have enough money. And you could take British trade dollars, but the main coin of the realm was the Spanish eight reals and even the gold escados, but mostly the Spanish silver coins, Mexican or Spanish or Peru. Now when you get looking at Mexican in the most common, when you have Peru or Ecuador or any of the other Spanish main silver pieces of 8, they will have a premium. Yeah, they will have a premium.
Well, I say it all the time. I said if you're a U.S. coin collector, I mean, you're missing out if you're not collecting early Spanish coins too, just because that was here. That was the first coins of the United States. I mean,
You
well,
ain't
of America,
kidding.
let's say that.
I mean, Spain, you know, Spain took mountains of gold and silver out of Mexico and the whole Spanish main, Ecuador, Venezuela, all along there, mostly Mexico. They had mints that mined it, and they had their treasure ships.
Yep.
A lot of them are the legends of piracy and everything else. And they funded their, you know, what's the story about the sun never sets on the Spanish Empire or the British Empire? And Spain financed their exploration and everything, you know, Captain Blood time.
Yep. Spanish were some serious, ruthless people, really.
Well,
You know
that's
what I
like
mean?
when I get somebody who'll have words of, oh, you know, Columbus this, Columbus. He was only the navigator. I mean, Spain owned the ships. Go yell at Isabella and King Ferdinand.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I've
they're
said
the
it.
people who enslaved those people for 300 years.
I said it before. I said if not for hurricanes, I said everybody in this world might be speaking Spanish.
You ain't kidding. Well, what was it? The Armada in 1666? Spain sent an armada of how many hundreds of ships to attack England. Now, they only had to go across the English Channel, which maybe at the widest it was 70 miles. I mean, I know at the narrowest, because I've been on the White Cliffs of Dover, 20 miles away, you could see France. But from Spain to there, 50, 70 miles.
Making a little L shape, right? Just kind of like a
Yeah,
little bit like
and
this.
they hit a hurricane.
Yep.
And it sunk most of the fleet in 1666.
Those hurricanes were the Spanish banes, I tell you what.
That was the divine wind,
Jeez.
you know, in 1666. Or else they'd all been speaking Spanish over there.
That's
Who
what I'm
knows?
saying, yeah.
Had a lot of British there. It'd have been a pitched battle fight. But, yeah, I mean, storms have changed the history of many countries. Same thing with the Japanese, with when Genghis Khan wanted to come across and invade Japan. That's where they get, you know, kamikaze, the divine wind, and it sunk his fleet. Was coming across to invade Japan in the 13th century, 14th century, somewhere around there.
How cool is history, huh?
I love
Wild.
history. I talk about it. I try to pass it on. My grandchildren don't know if I'm crazy or not because they still think I was with King Arthur. Sometimes, you know, I tell them, "Oh, how do you know that, Papa? Who do you think carried his sword?"
Yeah.
I mean,
You pulled
know,
it out of the stone for him, right? Is that him? Is that the right
yeah, Excalibur.
guy? Oh man, I'm surprised to see some of these coins still here because like this metal has been here since our last show.
I got 2 more that I'm going to get certified. I got a bunch of coins I'm going to get certified. I think I've earmarked about 15 of them. I have 2 more. Brian gave me one of those for Christmas, and I'm going to get that certified. And I got another one over there that's raw. If I sell them, fine. If I don't, I think they're really pretty. They got this right. I think it's a beautiful coin.
You're talking about the flowing hair?
Yeah.
Like recertified on this one? What are we talking about? It's...
No, I got 2 raw ones.
Oh, you got 2 more.
2 raw ones in the box.
Gotcha.
And
Actually, you know what? In a weird way, I like that annex holder a lot.
yeah,
That
I
looks-
can live with it.
That looks nice.
But if I can get an NGC in a 70, I'll live with that too.
That's the way it works. Isn't
And
it?
that'll be the one Brian gave me.
See, everybody wanted me to flip the coin this way, thinking it's a U.S. coin, spectacular. What are you doing? No, this is a metal, though. This is the metal, yeah. The gold was a coin. Cool stuff.
Pretty stuff. Yeah, I'm waiting to get the gold piece. That's going to come in. I have faith.
You need
in
one? You need one?
Not yet. Not at how much?
It's not as bad as that dang
5,000?
that dang bucking bronco one. That one's expensive.
I saw one at a show. A dealer there had Sitting Bull on a horse. It was like $5,800.
Yeah.
And this is when gold was $2,300. It was incredible price.
Crazy.
And it wasn't even certified. It was raw.
I like the raw a lot of times over the certified because some of that stuff, especially from the U.S. Mint, it has all the box and the paperwork and stuff. I mean, that stuff goes with it, I think, you know?
It gets in the way. I've got what I picked up, and I've had a few. I got 2 or 3 raw of the Centennial, 100 Centennial for the standing quarter and the walk-in Liberty.
Oh, you got those?
I've got a few of them.
Oh.
And I'm going to send in, I think I got about 4 or 5. I know I got a 1/10 proof Buffalo from '08. The cool ones that I've accumulated. And then I've got a few 1-ounce platinums. It's a crazy thing. When you look at the uncirculated platinum for 97 or 98, it lists in a 69 for like 12 or 1,300. In a 70, it's $40,000.
What?
$40,000.
Yikes.
So I think I have 3. Maybe I'll write on my thing heritage. I'll send it in like I'm heritage or somebody.
There you go.
I just don't believe they give the average
grade.
person. You know, I'll send them in. You know, when you're looking at that, I'll roll the dice.
Shoot.
You know, but they'll look better in plastic for the kids in the future. But you know, I've got about, like I said, I've got about 15 coins. I got a couple of cool ancients that I picked up that I'm going to get certified.
Are we going to see them?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
over here. I got 2 others I won't show you because I'm pretty sure they're not real, but I'm not sure.
We don't come over here enough anymore, guy. We got to come to this side once in a while.
Picked up a lot more ancients. This is the really
You're
cool
ancient
one.
heavy.
This is really cool. This is Nero and Tiberius. This is father and son. It's got Nero on one side, Tiberius on the other, and I want that certified. I'm going to keep that one.
How cool is that, huh? Woo!
I just think it's a cool coin.
It's got a price tag on it too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm pretty sure it's real, but that's the game you play.
You know, I'm not good with ancients, guy. I don't remember ever seeing 2 faces on one, right?
No, that's why I like that coin. I think that's so cool.
All right, let's make a deal, right? I'm heads, you're tails. Whoever gets it wins this coin. How about that?
No, I don't
Oh,
think so.
okay, they're both heads.
And I got a couple of Greek coins, and I picked up more Roman, not Roman. I picked up a bunch of Alexander the Greats.
Oh, okay.
I have quite a few silver Alexander Greats. I just picked up some more, I got more Alexander the Greats, and I got Constantine the Great. A lot of great people, I guess, you know.
Well, when you're the big guy, I mean, you can call yourself whatever you want, I suppose,
Yeah.
right? I'd be a great, I think. Look at this coin right here, guy. This Philippines.
Here's a cool coin I may keep.
Only $45 on that. How is
Yeah.
that still in your store?
That's only just came out. I bought that, I think, Saturday.
Nobody knows about it yet.
This is beautiful. Look at the colors on this. This is South African 50-cent piece, 1964. This is a silver coin. You wouldn't know it. Look at those colors.
Yeah, huh? Wow.
Now we can't find anything as high a grade as that.
Proof 67.
I think the mintage was what, 15,000, 16?
I can't understand what you got going on there. You got all kinds of numbers.
16K.
Okay.
$175 is what I'm asking. But they were selling 1 grade lower, and they weren't colored like that for $1.50. So, you know what they'll pay for colored coin. That might go for $300.
You got both sides too.
I think the colors are incredible.
That's really nice.
Yeah, that is a really cool coin.
Yeah, man.
Uh-oh, I hear the wheels turning.
Yeah, right? Oh, it's just so cool. Is that
We got lunch money.
is that a silver coin? What is that?
Yeah, it's silver. It's a 50-cent piece
Okay.
from South Africa.
Very neat, huh? I mean, it's got the one thing on the Krugerrand on it, whatever that animal was, I forget.
Springbuck.
Springbuck, yes. That's cool, man.
Very good with potato salad. But anyway.
The old Springbuck salad. Cool stuff. I always want to say like antelope or something like that. No, it's a Springbuck.
Springbuck. Well, there's so many animals.
It's like the same thing.
You know,
Same
I've been up in New Hampshire, and you look at a moose. A moose is pretty distinctive.
Yeah, you can't.
But then
mistake
you
that.
got a stag, and sometimes you get a big deer with a lot of antlers. I guess a stag is bigger than and heavier. I don't know. I don't.
You got elk over there.
I didn't pass zoology. You know, it's that kind of thing.
Well, I certainly didn't pass it in South Africa. I passed it over here.
A lot of silver ancients. I've just added more to it. I'm having fun. Yeah, that's what I do.
Cool stuff. You got your name over here. Boom, coin guy.
Yep. The kids will be running the store the next week, most of the week, because my niece is graduating valedictorian from
Nice.
of her class over at Rutgers, and I'm proud of her. I'm going to go see that graduation.
That's great.
So I'll be up in New Jersey. I got to find my certificate, because when I became a CDM, a Certified Dietary Manager, we had to take the final test at Rutgers. So I'm thinking I'm alumni, and maybe I can get a closer seat.
Oh, okay. There you
I
go.
don't know.
Yeah.
I got a certificate that says, Rutgers on it.
That sounds right.
We'll see. We'll see. But good for her.
Listen, I want to say this. I probably should have said it earlier too, but I've always put Guy's information down in the description. Got his phone number down there. What do you take? Phone calls 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning? Is that what you?
I get phone calls. Oh, I get Susan. Oh man, again? Turn it off.
You
I
gotta
said, you
silence
can't
your
do
phone.
that. You got to talk to people.
Not at 3 or 4 in the morning,
Yeah,
guy.
well, I'm usually
You're probably
awake.
up.
I wake up all the time, and I never sleep through. If I get 3 hours sleep, it's a good run. And then a lot of times they ring when I'm right next to me. The problem is that the phone is charging in my office, and I'm maybe sleeping on the recliner in the living room. So by the time I get to it, it goes off. But you got to check, because it sometimes can be the alarm company. It's that kind of thing.
Jeez Louise.
So you can't.
What are you
can't
gonna do?
ignore it. Well, what happens if it doesn't come through to me? It goes to Tara. Wakes them up.
There you go. That's better. Let me see what you got in here, guy. I saw this right here. These are the.
I got a ton of these
2009s,
little
right?
things. I look at all of these. PCGS. How much do they do this for the cheapest amount of money? I mean, it's a proof, but
Got to be at least 20-something bucks, right?
I think if you give them $1,000, they'll do it for, I don't know, $8 or $9 each plus shipping.
And you're offering this. Let's make a deal box for $5.
I'll take less.
That's crazy.
Here's $4.50.
I might have to take this. Are you kidding me?
I mean, how'd this get in there? Oman.
You got some old gold coins in here?
No, no old gold coins. But
You ever throw like a really, really cool thing in the bottom of this somewhere just to see if
I've
people go
done
searching?
something like that.
Yeah.
When I get some interesting, like here's Israel, that's pretty cool. That looks like it almost looks like, well, obviously that's a copy of an ancient coin. Here's early coins. Yeah, ancient coin. This is a Constantine probably.
That's
How
cool.
can you get less than $7?
I don't know,
These
it's
make
ancient, right?
graduation gifts.
Yeah, that's super cool. Got the little story behind it too.
We got a new pope, huh?
Do we?
Yeah,
What's he doing? Pope going to like baseball games and stuff?
that's what they said. An Italian pope. Well, it's we got an American pope.
Yeah.
American pope in Italy. But that's okay.
Nothing wrong with that,
Good
right?
for them. I'm glad you didn't pick a 92-year-old. I mean, I just don't understand that. This guy's 69. He's relatively young, and but he's 69, and let's give him a shot. He should make 10 or 15 years,
Hopefully, right?
and yeah.
Interesting. What else you got, guy? I see lots of mortgages down here. How come you actually have
I
mortgages?
got this over here.
Oh, you got more
I
over here.
picked up a bunch.
Let's see what we got. You got some key dates here, guy.
Got some key dates there.
Yeah, holy smokes. You got a lot of 21s.
Yeah.
People trying to get rid of the 21s?
There's a key date.
Shoo-wee. Holy smokies. I like the color on that too. It's got like almost like a yin-yang to it. Very dark over here, a little bit lighter here. Man, that's cool, guy.
It is. It's a pretty coin.
Wow. That's not going to last long, is it?
We shall see. Now let me see. What is that? An 89cc?
Yeah.
In what grade?
You got VF on it.
VF.
No, I'm sorry. You have VF net and you have F15.
Yep. Plus it's got a little corrosion on the edge.
Okay.
I put it on there so you know. Well, back in 1968.
Get an old paper here?
Yeah. I think that's pretty cool. 89cc. In 1968, that coin was 80 bucks.
Only 80 bucks.
80 bucks.
Man, let's go back and get a bunch.
That's what I found interesting. Somebody sent me this. This was sent to me, and, you know, I thought it was quite interesting. I was reading one article, and they were talking about silver certificates.
What is this, just a regular newspaper?
This is the this is Coin World from 1968.
Geez, an old Coin World. That's probably got some value on it, doesn't it, guy?
That's from Brad. Brad sent me that. Thank you, Brad. I don't know if it's got any value. I like looking at the numbers and thinking, oh my goodness, where's that time?
Have to have some value.
Where's that time machine? But he highlighted this article. This article is like 2 pages. There's another page like this. There must be 3,000 words to say the same thing over and over in different angles. I mean, you had a lot of time on your hands to read this, and I think this can all be consolidated into one line.
That's how I passed
This is
college.
about silver paper money, and this was at the time in '68 when they were pulling in all the 90% silver. It was disappearing everywhere, and it was almost a shortage of coinage because everybody was grabbing all of the quarters and dimes and halves, in circulation, and the government couldn't put out copper nickel fast enough. And it's an interesting article, and what I thought was interesting, they were redeeming silver certificates. Here it says, as of May 1st, and I've told people this, because you get the people who come in with the silver certificate that they think is worth $100. And it's here. As of May 1st, 1968, this is June, May 1st, $286 million worth silver certificates still were outstanding. I have 2 100-piece bundles in the safe right now. There's a lot of silver certificates. There's 280 million of them. That's probably 2 for everybody who was alive then. You know, there's a lot of them, and they're not worth what you think they are. And on that note, let me just mention this. My son calls me, says we got a couple of 1 stars. I don't really concern myself with that. But if you're out there, I can take any 5s. You want to give me 5 stars? You get these people, and I'm not only talking for me.
Talking about
I've
reviews.
talked to for reviews.
Okay.
I get to talk to other dealers, my son. You get these people who bring in, they watch these videos on TV. I had them today, where you got a 1973 penny that has a dot on it, and they see it's for sale for $3,000. I think that that's somebody who puts that up, and 2 of his friends are selling them down the street just so they can hustle people. This particular couple came in, and I was taking care of someone. Tara was doing the girl, and she had a near-date 1979 Susie B. That's where the 1 of 19 is very close to the rim.
Yeah.
It is a variety. It gray sheets for $3 if you can find anybody who wants them. I don't even look for them. I feel that 1 out of every 10 is a near date.
Yeah.
I've had them only because they came in collections that have it noted, and they were in there, in the junk box. And this woman is showing it to Tara and telling about somebody with $2,500, and no, here it is, gray sheets for $3. Well, I'm not giving you $3 for that. They write up a review making fun of Tara, telling her to stay in the back, called me a couple of names, and obviously her friend with her backed her up, because I'm not stupid. You get two ones within 10 minutes of each other, the friend did the same thing. I'm speaking not only for me, but for many dealers. Don't believe everything you see in the, on
internet,
TV,
on TV,
on
anywhere, right?
internet.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff, all of these modern errors, are just hustles. I tell people that today, a guy calls me, oh, a 1952 and a 53 penny. I said 2 cents each. Well, what? I said, I'll give them to you for 3 cents. No, I see them over here for hundreds of dollars. Buddy, and
Go
then
over
I
there,
take
right?
the time to explain. And I don't want to be rude with you, but buddy, I got other things to do. I try to take the phone calls, but I get 5 phone calls. I get 10 phone calls a week about the same thing. Pennies, nickels, quarters. And then because I've told you the truth, you didn't like what you had to hear, you're going to try and stab the Sicilian in the back?
Ay, ay, ay.
But give me a couple of 5s out there when I've done good for you. Let's knock them out of the park. But I'm talking for a lot of people. When you watch all those things, it ain't that easy.
Well, I've seen it like in articles, like online. I've seen YouTube headlines, you know, $1,000 dime, modern dime, right? And it's sensationalism to get the views.
Yep.
Because both those articles online and the YouTube videos, they need those views in order to, you know, maintain their money's coming in. So
This whole article is about them calling in the silver, how many millions of ounces they can melt in time. Now you got to remember, this is a time when they still were using some silver, because in '68 they were still making 40% half dollars. And they had an obligation for a couple of million they needed. They couldn't keep up with the needs for how much was coming in, because a lot of people were hoarding silver. I was a paper boy in '68.
Ah,
I was pulling
you
silver.
were hoarding silver too.
Oh, hell yeah. Yep. I was hoarding silver in '68 and '69.
You're part of the problem, guy.
That was part of the problem. You know, any silver I got, I knew enough to put it here. Armed men hijacked truck, moving 5 million dimes. These would have been copper nickel dimes. Really? You don't hit the jewelry store with diamonds? You're going to steal 5 million dimes? How easy is that to move?
It's a lot of phone calls you got to make.
You're going to go to a lot of departments and say, hey, buddy, you want some hot dimes? I'll sell them to you for $4 for a $5 roll.
Hey, but you know the good news, there's no serial numbers on dimes.
No, there's no serial numbers on dimes, but I just think that that's
a lot.
There's another one in here where they robbed a coin store. It's interesting when you read these articles. They hit another coin store. They robbed a coin store and they stole couple of $1,000s worth of, here it is. Armed men strike shop in New York and they stole the silver certificates.
Oh,
The paper silver certificates.
not that big of a deal.
286 million outstanding. You robbed a store in the middle of Manhattan to steal silver certificates?
They didn't do their research first.
Well, they went there after they robbed the dimes. They said,
Yeah.
these are too heavy to
Yeah.
carry. Let's go steal the
Yeah,
paper money.
Figuring it out. That's crazy.
I don't know.
This is cool though. This is pretty neat.
It's like it's a time capsule.
Yeah, for
Here,
sure.
1916 D dime. $1,000. It's what? D dime is 1,000 and good. $90. That was a lot of money there.
$90 in what right here?
$90 for 1916
In good,
D
huh?
dime. Yeah, in good.
Jeez,
My dad was making,
I wish.
probably making about 120 at that time.
Goodness gracious.
I mean, it was, there's a lot of interesting stuff here. Then they're talking about the silver withdrawal in Canada too, because they were pulling their money. Here's Taga stone money. Get a wife, you get a 6-foot big stone with a hole in it.
Oh boy. This is a cool year to have this too.
It's interesting.
68.
I don't recognize any of these people, but then again, this is 60 years ago. Summer specials. They were selling silver dollars
What
for
is this?
$2.
Help wanted to buy. What are they trying to buy?
Bags of silver, Canadian coins, bags of Canadian. Yeah, they're trying to buy Canadian. This is the foreign section, I guess, because everything here looks
It's the
Canadian.
Peepo Bros.
Yeah. I mean, there were specials.
Call the
It's like
Peepo.
how much a bag of silver. I remember bags of silver. I remember buying, around 1972, going to flea markets, and they would have trays of walking Liberty half dollars, and you could pick any one you want for 80 cents.
Really?
Yeah, 80 cents for a walker. I mean, it's 50 cents to begin with. It was 80 cents.
I needed one of those
I mean-
DeLorean things, man.
there was a time when it was like 1.5 times. I remember 2.5 very, very easily. But like I said, when you look at that and you tell people now, but then again, who knows where our numbers are going to be?
Silver coin prediction. I'd be curious what that was all
Canadian silver. I have that too. Hey, people, I got a $100
can't move the
bag
Canadian
of
stuff,
quarters.
can you?
Still got them. I got a $100 bag in there, quarters.
Goodness gracious.
19 times face. So think that whatever melt is.
When they're the 51st
But you gotta
state,
pick
it'll be
them up.
much easier. It'll
Yeah,
be
that
much
ain't going to
easier.
happen. He did that just to mess with them. That's his way.
People were so like upset about that comment, just for fun we made, you know what I mean, on video. People were like, "Oh, that's not funny at all." It's like, it is funny. Stop.
You know, you got to
Stop being a
laugh
stick
with
in the
it.
mud.
You just got to laugh with it. But this was an article someone sent me, Brad sent me, and I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, only 4 weeks left to get your new zip codes. I guess zip codes started in '68.
I would have known that. It was not even a thought then. That's cool though. I like that a lot. That's neat. And that was Brad, you said?
Yeah, Brad.
Big shout out to Brad.
Thank you, Brad.
Yeah.
But you know, you look at the price of these coins. Here we go. Uncirculated 89cc, $750. 92s was still $600 in an unk. And what's interesting, you got AU unk. There's no unk 63, 65. I remember Coin World and them back in the early 70s. You only had a few grades, and you didn't have, well, you didn't have the number system in the 70s. You know, you had a fine, a VF. You didn't have a fine 25, a fine 15, or a VF 25 and a VF 30. You had just XF, and then you had unk, and then you had AU, and then you had unk.
Yeah. So
An unk could be a breathtaking. Rubensteins would call things gem unks, which now would probably be 67s or 68s. I mean, I can remember in years past seeing breathtaking proof barber coinage there. I mean, breathtaking stuff. But this is interesting.
It's all cool.
1958 silver proof set. I sell that set now for about $26, $27.
Yeah.
Almost 20 bucks.
So
1950.
Hasn't really
In
moved.
1968.
Hasn't really moved.
That's a lot of money in 1950. Because you got to figure, there's what? $2 worth of, there's 85 cents, but it was only selling it 1.5 times. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, you know, I think that's pretty expensive.
I love this blast from the past. It reminds me of like the old red books, like looking through those and seeing the prices. That's so much fun.
But I'll look at this some more. I just thought it was, I'll find something out. Find some other things. Singapore dollars. James A. Ruddy.
How many people have come into the store asking for Singapore dollars?
No one. I mean, you get some interesting stuff, and that's some of the stuff you send, that you send out to be certified.
What's something like the most common thing somebody comes through the door and say, "Hey, do you have this?" Or they call up, "Hey, do you got one of these?"
They're all looking for the South American. They want coins from Puerto Rico, the series of 1896. They use, you know, Puerto Rican dollars, quarters, halves.
Really?
Yeah.
That often?
Panama. You pointed out one over there.
The Philippines?
Philippines is another very popular. I guess it's a nationalism thing.
Huh.
Here's the rest of that article. There was that. Here's another page about the silver.
Oh, the
Look at
continuation.
the size of these pages.
Yeah, they're huge.
And they just repeat this. There's got to be thousands of words here. Thousands of words.
TV shows were kind of boring. When
Well,
was TV
Ed
even
Sullivan was on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was good times, right? I don't know. I have no idea.
British coins found under Boston porch.
Oh, the Franklin Mint.
Yeah. That's 68. They were only just getting started then.
That's cool.
They were hot stuff in the mid 70s. Yeah, I mean, they were. Yeah, look at this.
Well, 70s were a big
Pretty
deal
articles.
because like silver kind of had like a little shoot, right? Like it jumped up to like a couple bucks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is for solid bronze. What do you do with that now? You hand them out for Halloween.
It's probably over there.
Yeah, they're in the box. I mean, now that's an error. These look like they're Civil War tokens.
Man,
These are arid Civil War tokens.
it's like I'm watching the Hellraiser movie here. Holy smokes. That's crazy, huh?
Yeah, that's a heck of an error. That is what you call a shattered die. Absolutely a shattered die.
Phew. That'd be so cool to have.
Yeah, it'd be doing. You get that and get it certified. It's not as pretty as my South African toned coin. I don't want to mention that.
Whatever happened to the penny guy that had some kind of special penny?
He's getting it certified.
Still working on that.
Yeah, Peter's getting that certified. He's hoping to have it, and if he has it, we'll probably have it at our table at Fun. Let's see what happens, and we're going to call you in and follow up on that, because he mentioned that, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
I think NGC is certifying it. They're saying it's, we're not sure if it's going to come back as a patent piece, a 1942 patent, or it's off metal. I don't know.
Either way, that's cool, right?
Either way, it's cool. I mean, how many you know?
Right.
I think it's pretty cool. I'm willing to give him $1.50 and some marbles or something. We can trade.
You got marbles? I'll take some marbles.
Yeah, I had a whole tray of marbles. Guy bought them off me. So what do you give me for those marbles? This was years ago. Guy go, I'll give you 100 for that. I said yes. I don't even know where I got them when I bought a box of stuff and there was marbles there.
I like marbles.
I know there's marbles that are worth stupid money. But
yeah,
here's your CCs.
I always try to collect them since I lost
picked up
mine.
a couple of more 93s and 92s. I got a whole load of 21s. I'm king of 21.
I know, I've seen that. It's crazy. You got the 28?
Yeah, I think I have two 28s.
Goodness gracious.
I had somebody in earlier who brought me in, I think it was yesterday, brought me in a book of peace dollars. He wanted to send them in. I said, no, the 21 is polished. Any coin in there that had value had been cleaned, or it said AU and it had no feathers. I mean, these are fines, and you can't call them an AU because they were shiny, you know. I can see this lusted from, you know.
Sugar, look at this one, guy.
Yeah.
Holy smokies. Craziness, guy.
Yeah, a couple of these.
I love these right here. These look so great.
CC sell. I mean, I'm back up to about 20, but I've been down as low as 12. But I think I bought 6 off of one person, and then I bought 2 GSAs. What do I got now? I got 8, 7. I got 20, 21. Let's not forget this one.
Oh yeah, don't lose that guy. That goes into the pile right here. The showcase
I can go right there.
next to the $20.
Pirate Girl selling. I got these for 185 a piece. These are the
Oh, the ATBs.
yep, the government issued ones.
I'll give you face value for one.
Yeah, okay.
25 cents.
Yeah, well, they got money on it. They got a value on
That's
it.
what I'm saying.
But
Give you face value, bro.
well, you know, you're looking at 160 in silver, a little over that. Here's 5 ounces of silver at 32 and change. I want 185.
I know a lot of people that stack those.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
stack. Well, I bought a tube one time. I think I had a tube of these. This one right here.
I had a few of the
I
bat
bought
ones.
a 10-piece tube.
Okay.
I got a couple over there in boxes. Some of the better ones, the Alaskan ones that have higher premiums.
It's so interesting for me to see so much gold in your case because
Yeah, a
it
lot of
seemed
it
like
is
it was
small
like,
gold.
well, it seemed like you didn't have any for a while.
And this is cool stuff. I mean, these are certified and they're pretty high grades.
Australian.
But I don't get much more. I mean, I want, you know, when you look at the premium on them, it's less than what it costs you to certify.
What's that itty bitty one right there?
This one
guy?
has premium. This one is a better one. This is the, yeah, this is like 1850.
Sure.
That's about, well, the golden is about, what, 1650.
No, that's a mortgage payment.
But this
though.
is a 1913 MS63. I mean, this is a better coin.
Super cool.
And certified.
What's I'm more of a budget gold guy. What's this little 1/50th of an ounce right here?
This is a 1/50th of an ounce, which makes it, this is Liberia, proof,
Okay.
1998, 1/50 of an ounce. I mean,
Yeah, see that little
you know,
tiny
you're
thing?
looking at what? 1.6 gram?
It's a baby.
No, 31 would be a gram, so it's like a 0.6 of a gram.
Goodness gracious.
Basically, the price on is the price of melt. I mean, this is a half a gram, and these is like $60, $65.
Isn't it crazy how much a gram of gold is right now?
Yeah, God. I mean, tell me about it.
I'm gonna give some away since I hit like the 100,000 subscriber mark.
Good for you.
And
Congratulations.
when I saw the price tag, I was like, "Oh, this stinks."
I mean, It just is, but
Well, thank you, though.
you know, I still put them away. Like a $1 gold pieces.
You're part of that journey, guy.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, over 100 videos. I mean, you're a big part of that, you know?
I think when I started with you, it's probably going to be, is it 6 years this September?
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, because I got COVID, and we'd already been working together before COVID. So I think it's been 6 years. This is about 5.5 years. And you had like 4,800 people.
Yeah, you trusted me.
4,800. And, you know, it was either do a special with Tom or start doing filming with you. And I said, let's take a shot on the kid. And
it shows a level of, you know, trust, and I really appreciate that because, you know, and there's a lot of people doing that now. They're doing the coin shop videos. But,
oh, yeah, my
you know,
goodness.
It's a great opportunity to learn from, you know, the actual official, like, you know, guy in the store. And we get so much information from it. So it's a great opportunity, and thank you for giving us the chance.
It's, you know, it boosted our people coming in, and we get people from all over the world, all over the country.
Calling it 2 o'clock in the morning now.
Oh,
Hey, look
yeah.
at you. Huh?
But they come in
You're
from
welcome.
everywhere, and that's okay. I'm, you know,
It's the least I can do is get you
Had
those
my
early
sleep.
phone calls.
but it's been a great journey and a good run, and I enjoy, and I'm going to keep doing it. And I'm, you know, I'm happy that one of my grandchildren already is showing an interest. You know, when I talk to the kids in Cruise Lake and I talk to them, education's important, but it's not everything in the world. I mean, if you've got a skill set and you can do plumbing or carpentry or roof, I enjoyed working for years with my brother-in-law doing construction when I wasn't cooking or selling coins. I liked the physicality of it, and there were a lot of hard, long, tired days, but I enjoyed the camaraderie and the working with my hands.
Yeah.
And you know, I learned a lot from it, and there's a lot now that I can do only because I have the confidence I learned doing it for 20 years. But it's not something that's going to take your job because of AI. I don't think they're going to have an AI carpenter anytime soon. Okay? I've got a nephew that just graduated. We were at his party Sunday. He is my cousin. He's my second cousin, I guess. He graduated college. He got a degree, a bachelor's of art in cybersecurity, which is kind of scary sounding to me. But he's got cybersecurity. And I was talking to him, and I'm, you know, I saw where his office is. He's working from home. He's got a job already. I mean, he graduated on Sunday, and he's already got a job. He's working at it. And I said, don't you worry about you being replaced by AI? And didn't seem to make him worried.
Yeah, I don't lose any sleep at night because of that, to be honest with you.
No, not with what you do. You know, but I think AI has taken a lot of jobs. I was talking to the bank, and one of the girls is gone there. She left. I said, I probably talked her out of leaving. You know, I told her years ago, you know, you're 32, 34 years old. You ain't doing this in 20 years. This is half of these big buildings down here. You carry on because you got the old people here who don't want to use automated machinery. A friend of mine lives in Manhattan. Everything's automated. My sister's in Jersey. Virtually everything there's automated. Here you got the older people hanging on. And, you know, you're 22 years old. I wouldn't go to college to be a banker. I mean, you know, unless dad owns the bank or mom owns the bank. I mean, I just don't. So a lot of jobs are going to go.
Well, maybe we can, you know, have what Bernie Sanders suggested and like more days off.
Well, that's, you know, well, look at China. They got a lot of days off now.
You say we don't have to work as hard anymore.
Well, how many millions do you think they have unemployed? 15 million, 20 million? I mean.
That's a drop in the bucket in China, though.
But it's a very dangerous thing for China. China has one of the oldest empires in the world. You know, it's 3,000, 3,500, 4,000 years old. But every 200-300 years, every 50 years, they have an uprising. And when they have an uprising, they don't know how many die. 5 million, 30 million. They kill a lot.
Phew.
And when you have a lot of idle hands, and I've read this article, when you have a lot of idle hands, and they can get the internet from the Americas and everywhere else, They see what we have here. And Free Europe has. They join organizations, they start to riot.
Goodness
And
gracious.
that's what China has to worry about. And that's the angle that the president can use with tariffs. You want to keep these people working. But, you know, I'm no fan of China. I get too much of their counterfeits in, not these. But, I mean, I get people. I had 2 today, here. These 2 came in today. These 3. Now, this one I had. Those came in.
Chinese counterfeits.
Well, I'm not going to say China, but I know they give licenses to make this stuff there.
Has a
I can't.
incorrect flip right there a little bit, a little rotated. The eagle doesn't look right.
At least it's not magnetic. A lot of times they jump right up to the magnet. At least it's not an 1804 silver dollar. I had somebody come in with a page of those. I said, well, how much is here? You want the good news or the bad news?
Right.
You know, if they were real, you got $80 million, but they're fake.
We got the wrong flip on that one.
Yep.
It flips that way
Yep.
instead of. Oops.
But the person came in and just gave me these. We had a bunch of them.
That's good. It's
But
education, right? Yeah.
I constantly see those. You mean it just doesn't stop.
Unbelievable.
But like I said, see us. It's been a great run. I think this is number 108. Maybe I'm approaching
Holy
8
smokes.
million views now.
We could just keep going, right?
How you like that, Tom? You know, and we'll see what else we can find. But God bless America, greatest country in the world. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Guy. Amen.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, hello everybody. I seek to educate and entertain through my journey of collecting coins and stacking precious metals. I encourage you to subscribe and please stay with me on this journey. I am Spegtacular, the Silver Stacular.
You know, when I was a kid, we did this every day in school, and I believe we need to bring this back a little bit, and I'm going to start right now. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.